Khalid, Omar, and Matt weren't just friends. They were brothers, inseparable since they were 3. Khalid was the life of the party, always cracking jokes. Omar was the daredevil, fearless and bold. And Matt, he was the quiet, wise one, the anchor that kept them grounded. They shared everything: laughter, secrets, and a promise to always have each other's backs. But that promise was shattered when they were 15. Their parents boarded a plane for a trip and never came back. The loss hollowed Khalid out, stealing his laughter and leaving a silent, withdrawn stranger in its place. Omar and Matt tried to give him space, but patience wore thin. One day, a few weeks after the tragedy, Omar snapped, saying something he instantly regretted, something that cut Khalid to the bone. That single, careless remark was the final crack in Khalid's already fragile world. That night, he vanished. He ran away, leaving Omar and Matt with nothing but guilt and a gaping hole where their trio used to be. They searched for years, the hope of finding him slowly fading until they finally had to accept he was gone forever. Years passed. Then, in a twist of fate, all 3 were accepted into the same hero college. But the Khalid they found there was not the boy they remembered. He was hardened, distant, and possessed an incredible power. Super speed, but he used it selfishly, for spying, stealing, and winning fights before they even began. Omar had gained the power to control ice, and Matt could manipulate shadows, but their reunion was anything but warm. The first time they met again, in a dorm hallway, Khalid just shot and insulted Omar and walked away. The universe, it seemed, had a cruel sense of humor. They were assigned as roommates. A few days later, Omar and Matt saw Khalid bullying a younger student for lunch money. That was the last straw. Omar stepped in, and the hallway erupted into a chaotic battle of ice and lightning-fast strikes. During the clash, a small, worn photo fluttered from Khalid's pocket. It was a picture of 3 little boys on a beach, beaming at the camera. Omar saw it, and the fight drained out of him. "Khalid, whispered. But Khalid just snatched the photo and walked away, coldly saying he couldn't be around them anymore. He isolated himself completely, ignoring Omar's desperate attempts to reconnect. One night, Omar heard hushed voices outside their window. He saw Khalid secretly meeting a known villain named Snake, a terrifying figure who could turn people to stone with a single glance. Omar and Matt listened in horror as they overheard Khalid discussing plans, realizing he was a spy. The next day, Omar, blinded by rage and betrayal, confronted Khalid and punched him. Cornered, Khalid finally broke. He confessed everything. After he ran away all those years ago, he discovered Snake was responsible for their parents' disappearance. When he tried to confront the villain, Snake captured him, threatening to hurt Omar and Matt unless Khalid worked for him. He'd been a prisoner all this time. Omar was stunned, flooded with regret. "I'm so sorry, Khalid," he stammered, begging him to come back to them. But Khalid just shook his head. "It's too late," he said, his voice empty. "Snake is on his way to the nuclear power plant." Right now, a frantic fight broke out between the 3 friends. Omar and Matt tried to work together, but Khalid, trained by years of deceit, anticipated their every move. Matt created shadow clones to distract him, giving Omar an opening to lunge with an ice spear. But Khalid was too fast. He phased, and the spear went straight through, piercing Matt's leg. Omar cried out in horror as Khalid warned them to stay out of it before speeding off, refusing to give up. Matt used his shadow powers to heal his own wound, and they raced after Khalid. At the power plant, Matt stayed behind to battle Snake in a deadly dance of shadows and stone, while Omar found Khalid at the control panel, trying to trigger a meltdown. Khalid attacked, but he couldn't deliver the final blow. He collapsed, sobbing, unable to kill his oldest friend. They tried to stop the meltdown together, but the system demanded a sacrifice. In a flash, Khalid used a device to restrain Omar, tying him up. "Matt, take him and go," he yelled. As Omar screamed his name, Matt pulled him into the shadows, whisking them away just as the plant exploded. Khalid had phased into the reactor core, absorbing the blast and saving them all. 2 days later, at the funeral, Omar stood broken. Then he saw him a translucent figure, Khalid's spirit, standing beside him, visible only to Omar. He smiled peacefully, apologized, and then faded away. Years later, Omar and Matt became the #1 and 2 heroes in the universe. They protected worlds together, two brothers carrying on the legacy of the third, the one who gave everything to save them. Thank you for watching.